doesn't love a good movie monster?
Yeah, it's almost second nature.
From Nosferatu to the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, the world of cinema has a monster to suit the tastes of every viewer.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Anyone can make a movie about a vampire and call it a monster, but it takes some real talent to craft an abomination so grotesque that it's seared into the minds of audiences for life. Here are Screen Rant's 10 movie creatures that will give you nightmares. The Pale Man, Pan's Labyrinth. Nobody working in film today knows what makes monsters frightening better than Guillermo del Toro. The proof? The Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, a loose-skinned, child-eating creature encountered halfway through the film. The Pale Man sits at a dining room table laden with a feast meant to tempt del Toro's protagonist, Ophelia. She enters the Pale Man's lair with instructions not to eat anything she sees, so naturally she eats 2 grapes. The Pale Man gives chase, and viewers are right next to her throughout the terrifying sequence. Samara, The Ring. Gore Verbinski's remake of this Japanese horror set a lasting trend with its release. After films like Scream, The Faculty, and Bride of Chucky soured us on slasher flicks, Samara was a ghostly breath of fresh air. Her appearance and creaky gait made audiences skin crawl. In the film's most famous sequence, she crawls out of a television set to exact her revenge on one of the film's characters. This scene alone made her an immediate game changer. It also made most of the people who saw it wish they had kept their eyes covered. The Xenomorph, Alien. The star of the Alien franchise deserves a high spot on this list. Despite the clones, it's still one of the most original and iconic movie monsters to date. Beware, you might think you're looking at some exposed piping in a spaceship's wall, but look again. The spiked tail and terrifying mouth-tongue thing can strike in an instant. By the time you recognize the Xenomorph for what it truly is, it's already too late. The Babadook. Jennifer Kent created an indescribable antagonist in her critically acclaimed debut, The Babadook. Whatever form it chooses to take, it's always just the right amount of spooky. Don't be fooled by the creature's cartoonish exterior, including the mister in its name. The minimalist design casts an unforgettable image that will not leave your head once you see it. Widow Mother Amelia lets the Babadook into her head, where he makes himself at home and terrorizes both her and her son. Tequila Vomit Monster, Poltergeist 2. Craig T. Nelson's character gets drunk and ends up swallowing a worm that's been possessed by the Beast, formerly known as Reverend Henry King. The Beast then possesses Steve. After a struggle, Steve expels the worm, which grows bigger and grosser by the second, before turning into a nightmarish, writhing tentacle. Gmork, The Never-Ending Story. Most people who saw Wolfgang Petersen's The Never-Ending Story as a child look back on the adventure with fondness and nostalgia. They might also recall the many nights they spent wide awake in bed, frozen in fear, unable to get the leering grin of the nihilistic werewolf Gmork out of their minds. The Never-Ending Story is not a scary movie by any means, but Gmork, on the other hand, is an incredibly scary monster. It's safe to say he's responsible for more than his fair share of nighttime terrors. Demon Mutant Nazis, An American Werewolf in London. These incredible creatures crop up in a nasty dream sequence partway through John Landis's werewolf movie. David Kessler survives an attack that leaves his friend Jack dead. In a dream, David and his family enjoy an evening at home that's interrupted by demonic beasts unmistakably wearing Nazi uniforms. They execute David's mom, dad, and younger siblings before killing him. The dream is packed with meaning, but most of all, the monsters manage to be as memorable as the film's real star, which is an accomplishment in itself. Freddy Krueger, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Any list with the word nightmare in its title probably has space for the king of nightmares himself. He might not fit the monster category, but he's definitely monstrous, and boy does he know his way around a bad dream. He also knows how to have fun, though his idea of fun tends to be fatal for everyone involved. Freddy can't harm his victims in person, but he's creative, and he gets his amusement from suffering, unlike his emotionless, masked 1980s slasher film competition. Other maniacs kill and move on, but Freddy takes his time to get every ounce of terror and laughter out of each kill.
Come to Freddy.
The Chatterer, Hellraiser. And now one for those who view the dentist chair as the most terrifying place on earth. You could watch every single film in the Hellraiser franchise and pick any number of unwholesome fiends from each, and most would fit the criteria of this list. But the Chatterer sets stomachs twisting with a single glimpse. He's the definition of grotesque, with clacking teeth and a stretched face. The very sight of him means that your number is up, and you're off to an eternity of torment, every bit as disturbing as you might expect. Brundlefly, the Fly. Brundlefly is the horrible end result of a series of unfortunate scientific experiments in David Cronenberg's The Fly. but it's simpler just to say he's downright gross. It's not Seth Brundle's fault he winds up as this monstrosity, since meddling with nature cost him his ability to reason as a human. Seth responds to his most primal urges. He puts an arm wrestling opponent in a sling and dissolves another man's hand and ankle with corrosive vomit. If Seth's plan to turn himself, his lover Veronica, and their unborn child into a single entity wasn't the last straw, the melting and the puking probably would have been. So what do you think of our list? Did we miss any nightmarish movie creatures? Let us know in our comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.